Okay, I probably don't need this because I have a bit of a booming voice anyway. So I'm going to take you on a little voyage in a slightly different direction to the direction that we've been listening to today. We've heard a lot about fuels. Well, I'm going to take you down a road of a zero emissions fuel, if you like. So wind propulsion, wind assist and primary wind propulsion. What is it? What does it do? Well, I've got a big zero up here, all right? That doesn't mean it's a zero option. That means we've got a lot of zeros here. It is a pure zero emissions energy source, abundant around the world, globally available today, delivered directly to the ship at the point of use without the need to mine it, refine it, transport it, store it, bunker it or store it on board. That's a very different energy source. It's zero cost. Now, it's very difficult in this world to have a crystal ball and see the future, but I can see the future on this one. It will be zero cost today, at the end of the life of the ship, and when you take the system off the ship and put it on another ship, you have another lifetime of zero emissions at zero cost as well. So it is a very useful energy source. The technology isn't free. Yeah? If I say it's free, my members are going to get really upset with me. Right? The technology, you're going to have to pay for it. But I'm going to maybe give you a slightly different perception on that. But because it's a free energy source, it'll actually pay for itself. It's a propulsion system. It's the only propulsion system that will actually pay for itself. Don't think of it as an energy efficiency measure, although it is. It's an energy provider that pays for itself. And zero compatibility issues. You can put this on to any ship and use any other fuel you like. No problem. Okay? So it's quite an interesting one. We like to call that a win-win-win situation. So if you don't remember anything else, just remember that, win-win-win. What can it deliver? Well, as a retrofit, it can deliver up to 20% of fuel or of energy required, propulsive energy required. But remember, that's on a motor vessel operational profile, not changing your route or changing your speed. Then you can optimize it even more, voyage optimization. And with a primary wind vessel operation, you can get way, way higher. And actually we even have, and we'll hear about this maybe a little later with ISRA, there are actually climate positive ships that are being developed. You can have 100% plus ships. And there are actually 7 technology categories, but I'm not going to go through those today. But these are kites, rotors, hard sails, soft sails, ventifoils or suction wings, turbines, and also changing the hull of the ship into a wing sail itself. So what are we talking about? We're actually talking about if you were to deliver wind energy to a turbine and put it through the whole process of making a fuel, right through the internal combustion engine, out of a propeller, you lose about 80, well, say it's 10 units of energy delivered, you lose 8 to 9 units of that energy, and 1 unit pops out of the propeller. If you deliver it directly to the ship, you get 100%, all 10 units. And as Mess McKinney Muller Zero Carbon Shipping Center has projected, you can see how simple, how easy this is, if you like. How, I can't remember the word now, but anyway, the wind straight the way through. We don't have to go through all of this complex structure to deliver the energy. And we actually adopt a hybrid wave approach to decarbonisation. So if we were to say mandate wind propulsion across the fleet today, retrofitting all the ships, new ships come in with wind propulsion on board, we can easily deliver 20% of the energy requirement plus. So that's one of the sections. Then we look at activity, voyage optimization, the training of your crew, doing that properly, business, changing your business models, etc., etc. All of that can deliver another 20% plus. Then we've got the vessel itself, optimization, energy efficiency, design, etc., 20%. Collectively, 60% can be delivered with technologies and operational changes we can do today, can be delivered today. Okay? Then we look at the fuels, and 20% plus there, maybe 40%, maybe a bit more on wind. It's a very different way round of looking. At the moment, we're all looking at fuels. We need to be looking at energy. And if we mandated that 20%, this is just a little thought exercise for you. If we mandated 20% of wind, maybe with a little bit of wind routing in there as well, this decade. So we just say every ship has to be retrofitted, every new ship has to have a system on board to deliver up to 20%. The savings on fuel by 2050 would deliver IMO 2050 without any trouble. It's around $1 trillion. It would also decrease the amount of fuel we actually need. So it would actually start creeping up towards the full cost of decarbonising this sector, just by mandating wind propulsion on every ship this decade. So it's an interesting thought. We can actually decarbonise and on a macro level have no additional costs because it pays for itself. It's a free energy source. So that's the fantasy. That's what I would like to see, and that's probably answering one of our post questions. But where are we today? Well, we've got 24 large ships installed with wind assist systems. Another 20 or so smaller ones, some small cruise vessels as well, in all sectors except container ships at the moment. It's about 1.4, 1.5 million deadweight tons of shipping with wind assist systems on board. The market projection, so we had 8 installations last year, or actually it was 6 installations plus 2 wind ready. This year, we will triple that. There'll be 24, another 2 million, roughly 2 million deadweight tons of shipping coming in. A lot of bulkers will be coming in. We'll hear a little bit about that in a moment. We're also seeing primary wind vessels. Those are starting to be built. And we will see those entering the fleet 2024 with small ones, some bigger ones 2025, 26. And bigger ones, I mean, for example, a 200-meter car carrier that can carry 7,000 cars, 90% on wind across the North Atlantic. These kind of vessels will be coming into the fleet over the next couple of years. And the signs of scaling and maturity were already in the market. These systems are already being demonstrated, and we're starting to see some small fleet applications. And indeed, I mentioned about wind ready earlier on. I noted in the press that Capital Ship Management has already taken delivery of 3 wind ready tankers, chemical tankers, with another 3 coming through. Wind ready is starting to be an option for ships. And frankly, why not? For a little bit of extra steel, some movement of navigation equipment, consideration of some radar blank spots, for a few tens of thousands of dollars at build, you can make it wind ready to take on systems that the cost is starting to come down already. We have about a 10% learning curve. Every doubling of installations, 10% cost reduction. So by about 2026, 27, we'll have a 50% reduction in the cost, and hopefully that will start moving through into the price. But we're starting to see signs of maturity as well. Production lines are moving over to China, 3 of those. Hopefully we'll see more investment in production lines in Europe. We're seeing a couple of $100 million going in France at the moment. One of our members has just secured 28 million for further production lines, and they're a Finnish company. I'm conscious of my time. How much time? I've got 41 seconds, so I'm on my last 2 slides. There are still barriers. Perception is a big one. People, in their mind's eye, when you think of a wind turbine, you don't think of a 17th century windmill. You think of a gleaming white electrical turbine. But if you close your eyes and you think of a wind ship, you see Johnny Depp swinging on a black pearl, yeah? So that perception is a problem. Price, obviously, but actually policy is now kicking in behind what we're doing. And we've heard a lot about that. And this is my last slide that I'll do because I've got 6 seconds. That checkered line up there is the projection going forward to 2030 and 2050. 2030, the EU predicted between 3,000 and 10,000 ships will have wind propulsion on board. By 2050, 40 to 45% of all ships. We think that's conservative because they only looked at bulker, tanker and container sectors. They didn't look at general cargo, ro-ro, etc. So we actually think that this could go faster. Probably the big barrier to that will be capacity for the shipyards and the ability for our OEMs to actually ramp up production quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you very much.